Calling you a radical, real important video. Just proves the propaganda lie of the Department of Energy of this nuclear energy crime syndicate. So, they're trying to bail the 3 reactors out in Illinois because, they're the mob like New York. New York, you can't stand up to them. Nobody. New York, yay, they're the town that fights back. Okay. $7.6 billion. Didn't even go through the legislative path to the nuclear energy crime syndicate, the mob. So in Illinois, they're trying, the 3 reactors, well, not trying, they've been doing it over and over. The last bailout was the last bailout. The last bailout before that bailout was last bailout. They get the IEA subsidy from Vienna, world tax bailout. They get the federal tax bailout that is 13 times higher. You take all energy subsidies, you times them by 13, you don't even get close to the nuclear energy bailout. They get the state bailouts. They're having a bake sale at your local PTA today. So this is the fraud of the nuclear industry. It takes more electricity to keep those reactors open than they produce. You heard me right. Why? Well, they have to keep their spent fuel cool. The spent fuel's in swimming pool after swimming pool after swimming pool. They have to stay cool. And not to mention that in the winter, they can't freeze. So they use more energy than they produce. So they go to auction yesterday. That's how it works. It's an auction. So the auction yesterday, all 3 reactors, Illinois, the power users just says, we don't need it. And nobody bought any of it. It's like dairy subsidies. Dairy subsidies are still raging, and then, we pay for all this. Milk your cows 4, 5, 8 times a day, then, they dump it down the drain. It's like now they're doing produce, onions around here that they can't sell. So then they start a program to give it away to the so-called needy because there's no market for it. So what we're going to do, we're going to start a bailout today for horse and buggies. Horse and buggies need a bailout. So, wood-carved prosthetic limbs. There's a real great need for that. We're going to start a bailout for the wood carvers that carve your prosthetic limbs. And then your buggies, they need a bailout. Bethlehem Steel is plied with Biden for a bailout. So, they need it. They just kill people. This is how degenerate the fucking industry. Yeah, union jobs. They're full of shit on their union jobs. I have worked this multiple, and I'm an old union plasterer. They're liars. We proved that at St. Onofre when I snuck in. They bust in 7 loads of union workers. 7 busloads. Not one of them ever. We interviewed them. Joni ran, I went out. Spread it out to the media, went out. We snuck in there and interviewed them all. Do you work? No. Have you ever worked there? No. They just brushed in and told us they'd give us free lunch. And, we're on the come list, They're fucking liars. And the dumb sheep, and because they have all the lawyers. And you've been sold clean, green, too cheap to murder. I'm in the bone marrow transplant at LDSC State, dying of leukemia. I was head of the support group until all the sheep got afraid. Don't raise your voice and fight back when you're going to die. Now, you just lie down, Johnny, and die. There's 2 guys that worked at these very exact nuclear reactors they're trying to build out. Well, they have built out over and over. Both younger than me. You should have seen the way they looked. Whew, not good. And I'm like, because they don't work, it's Somer Simpson on Balkan. My PhD in the 90s I was working on. By the way, my PhD is ongoing. This is the longest. Who knew it was going to end up this long? Proved that if you work or live near a nuclear energy reactor, your statistical probability of dying of leukemia is 16 times higher than the mean. I told them that. They started to argue with me. I'm like, this is why they have AML. They're an acute radical leukemia bone marrow. Have you ever been in one of those units? Whoa, 85% of people don't come out of them. And so, it's a Hail Mary. Both of them died so fast, make your heads. They are willing death for our job. Yay. So we're going to get a bailout in, Biden's lobbying, Jennifer Granholm, Gina McCarthy, the new Rick Perry. We're going to make sex again. Operation Foxconn News told us, dumb peasants. Yay. Our first repesser was born in California. The new Russian River. The old Russian River. You could see Alaska. We bought it from Russia, you stupid motherfuckers. For the ignorant have inherited the earth. I was just listening to Mike Lee, was called in on one of the radio shows. And they do this I videoed it. And so they do this game where they play just 5, really, they cherry pick classic rock. Oh, I'm the biggest classic rock. I never turn it down. Everybody should listen. I'm like, oh, this guy's a classic rock fan. Okay. So they cherry pick the easiest lyrics you've ever seen. You got to get 5 of them right. Missed them all. He called Billy Squire foreigner. And he was, now remember, he was telling everybody what a giant classic rock fan is and how smart, ignorant, selfish people will elect. So the propaganda machine, it just throws out the narrative every time, your own taxpayers. By the way, are felonies. What the United States Department of Energy did to my father, they nuked him to death in Nevada. Well, what they've done to Kevin Blanch, the kettling on Google right now and the internet repression on internet of Kevin Blanch's work is a crime. It's against the law. I got no attorney. Nobody's going to stand up for me because the sheep, they're going to cherry pick. Fuck. You get your fucking bank bill out. You get your socialist check. Your PP. You know how much this loot job that happened under Trump and under Biden on the so-called stimulus, these so-called small businesses, no real small business that does the right thing, got shit. These small businesses just ripped it off. They got checks. There's no accountability. This is the greatest ripoff in history. The peasants didn't get shit. Oh, I'm a small business that made I'm the NFL. I'm Tom Brady. They all got fucking big forgiven loans if they did. None of them did the right thing. The peasants, it didn't trickle. It's more trickle down. Why do you just send direct fucking payments to the fucking workers? No, we'll rely on the fucking owner. It's like this landscape guy I'm friends with here. I'm like, you have nothing but exploited illegal fucking labor you're abusing the fuck out of. How are you going to pay? And by the way, even Mitt Romney admitted to me, he says both sides love it just the way it is. We have E-Verify. That's all you got to do. You want to clean up the whole fucking nightmare? And everybody says, oh, labor shortage. We can't find anybody to work in Utah. Yeah, when you pay fucking $2, $3 an hour. I wonder why. You should be making $50 an hour. Fuck, you seen rent? What are you going to do, work 3? Fuck, what a sham. You seen the fucking debt? So, the propaganda machine, so they tried to sell that's how it works. We're free market fair. No, you're not. No, you're not. The fucking most subsidized fucking grotesque fucking industry in the history of mankind is the most deadly. Fukushima, Pacific Ocean dies. Scientists are mystified, they're baffled, they're puzzled, they're stumped, they're perplexed, they're bewildered. That's not science. Kevin Blanch, the greatest PhD scientist probably in history. You label me, I'll label you, What Google's doing to my view count, what Google's doing is it's criminal. It's fucking criminal. The cover-up of Fukushima is the greatest crime in fucking human history. They can't sell it. Just like these dairy farmers. Just keep them getting more subsidy. We're America's great farmer. No, you're not. Fuck what? Riding around on an air-conditioned tractor with your exploited fucking brown people from the South, hungry people being exploited for fucking free. Then you dump it. Here, subsidize it, then dump it down the drain. That's what we're doing with nuclear. Killing solar? Solar's killing them. It's real simple. Here's the answer. I've told this right to Mike Lee's face. Rooftop solar. The sun shines 300 something. By the way, the fucking epic drought, the heat wave here, they won't let you sell it back in. Do you know Utah, Nevada, and Texas are blocking people from California? Nevada had a huge sellback problem on rooftop. Not problem, they do now. They blocked it. California's producing 200% more solar a day than they can use. It's being blocked from coming into the fucking grid. At the speed of light, you click your a button on the grid in fucking Nevada, Utah, Southern California, where the sun shines all day year round, and be in fucking downtown Manhattan. At the speed of light. Hello, this isn't fucking, maybe we can bring back we need a bailout for your prosthetic fucking limbs, the wood carvers. They need to fucking get a bailout, and in the carriages, the horse and buggy. Remember when the horse and buggy ran over Pierre's fucking head when they pushed him? So, they can't sell it. They can't sell it because there's no fucking market for it. So, the government fucking keep subsidizing this death factories. Why? Because it's Jeffrey Epstein. It's the top of the pyramid. Because it's free billions and trillions. Price Anderson. They don't have to pay it back, and they know it. It's fucking the power structure. Stay tuned. Kevin Blanch, I ain't going nowhere. The fight is on. Fuck you, Google, and your fucking internet kettling. Fucking You're going to get your ass sued off at some point. At some point, somebody's going to step up. Stay in tune.